Hey guys, welcome back to Young Americans Abroad. My name is Austin.
My name is Patrick.
And guys, welcome to the show. USA, USA, USA. What a game last night, Pat, right?
Couldn't agree, Austin. What a great way to wake up Monday. Usually the start of the week sucks. Everyone has to go back to work. But the U.S. gave us a treat. Another win, another final against our bitter rivals, Mexico.
Yeah, and honestly, Pat, these last two finals have been really just instant classics. And I think it's really, planted that flag as this being the best soccer rivalry there is. I know we're a little biased saying that, but hey, another final, another amazing game, and
That's right.
big win for us.
Trophy season, Austin. But yeah,
Yes.
I mean, just that crowd in Vegas, primarily all Mexico fans there. The tide changed. The U.S. players fought their hearts out. The emotion from Lawless at the end. There's so many awesome moments throughout the game, and even the beginning, the pregame show. I mean, it was a full entertainment there in Las Vegas under the lights.
Yeah, and I think to be completely fair, Pat, when this roster was announced, I know, we enjoyed seeing it. We thought there was some really talented players on this team, but I'm being fully transparent. Like, I did not expect this team to win, this Gold Cup final, and to beat a Mexico team that was pretty much, their A team. I know they have a few players over at the Olympics right now, a few players injured, things like that, but hey, this was, a big win for the boys, I guess the backup boys, so to speak.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Quote unquote B or C team. But these players proved a lot of folks wrong, including myself, Austin. I was harsh on some of them. And I know we were even talking on our previous episodes. We'll find it a success, right? If we get to the semifinals, if we get to the semifinals, and everyone was even nervous against Jamaica in that matchup. So it was awesome to see, them really prove all the doubters wrong.
Yeah, I have to agree, Pat. And, it was good to see that. And, it'll be cool to see how we transition into World Cup qualifying this fall. I think we're entering World Cup qualifying in the best form we've been in for, God, what do you think, Pat? Like close to 4 years now. So I think, it's a good time to be a USMNT fan. What else is there to say? So today, we're going to talk about our 5 takeaways from this Gold Cup. We're going to give you guys a little bit of, our take on what we saw. What do you think we can, really take from this Gold Cup, what we've learned, what we can use for the World Cup qualifiers. And it'll be a fun little episode today, a little debrief of the Gold Cup. So I guess to hop right into it, Pat, we'll go into our first takeaway. And that is, Kellen Acosta has fully solidified that backup role to Tyler Adams at the number 6. I mean, what an incredible game last night. His Nations League final game was, really good as well. And he's just really turned into this gritty, kind of scrappy midfielder. He's a very technical player as well. He's very good at obviously the free kicks, things like that. He's good at some of those long balls, but he is really just someone who can get all around the field and has great stamina. Right, Pat?
Couldn't agree more, Austin. What a turn or the tables have turned, really, I should say, right? I'm just telling Acosta and the fan base, just what, year or two ago, even earlier, where everyone's like, he shouldn't be on the national team, things like that, and where would he fit? There's so many other players kind of ahead, but he has really locked down, like you said, that backup role and grew more and more as he got more game time, from the Nations League crew to the Gold Cup roster and all these games here, group stage, all the way up to this amazing final, Austin. He really, like you said, is solidified, got more comfortable as games went on, and just knew where to be, knew the spots to be in. Yep. His passing, his energy, his work rate, tackles, block shots. He was everywhere, Austin.
Yeah, and I think, you said it best to me off air. He ran around for all 120 minutes, by far was the most active player on the pitch. And, he put in that awesome free kick at the end on tired legs. And, just to see that, he's played so many minutes in this tournament. He's played a lot of minutes, at the Nations League finals and also in MLS. And, he's just, really, really, in shape and really good at what he does, getting around the field. So it was really cool to see that. I think, and again, I'm just going to echo what we've said. He is firmly now, in the World Cup qualifying roster, in my opinion. I think he needs to be on the next roster, as cover, because as we know, Tyler Adams, is somewhat injury prone. I hate to say it.
Right.
It feels wrong saying it, but that's kind of what we've seen at least the past few years, just based on circumstance. And I think we need him to be that coverage. I think it's good to finally understand that, he can be this type of player. He can be the player that can fill that role. And, when you look at the other options, you had Jackson Ewell, perhaps, who really didn't get much time in this Gold Cup. You also saw, who else, Pat? Did Eric Williamson play a little bit as that number 6?
A little bit there. He got banged around in this final.
Yeah, and then you also have some of the younger players like Johnny Cardoso. Even James Sands, I think, could be maybe a capable number 6. But I think Kellen Acosta is clearly above every other option right now.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Austin. A great point. Back to that World Cup qualifying, right? Like, what's forward, especially these hostile environments when you're going to Honduras. Mexico, right? And Acosta really showed, and we talked about it there before, but just unfazed during those pressure-filled moments, his mentality, his leadership, his versatility. Granted, he has things to improve, right? And he does have, we know, kind of his ceiling, right? But he has showed time and time again now how clutch he can be. And that's a player, like you said, that we need during these World Cup qualifiers to get us to the big show.
Yeah, I agree, Pat. I think, he is prone to errors from time to time, but overall, he provides, like you said, someone who's honestly a leader. It's kind of weird saying that for a player who's kind of been out of the fold a little bit, but now he's firmly back in, and it's good to see it for him too. So I think that was one of our big takeaways from this tournament. Do you want to, I guess, introduce the next one, Pat?
Yeah, that's right. So number 2, Austin.
No surprise, I don't think.
No surprise at all. Matt Turner. I mean, he was the Golden Glove, right? The tournament's best keeper.
Best keeper, yeah.
He was awesome, Austin. I mean, just all you could see the media, the news, everybody just, giving him such high praise and what he did for the U.S. and kept us alive in so many games, especially in this final, Austin. His shot stopping was unbelievable. I think the U.S. had its 4th straight shutout there, and 5 and 6 Gold Cup matches, only conceding, I think, that penalty kick goal there in the group stage against Martinique. And man, his leadership, anchoring that defense from the back, especially an inexperienced, back line there, you could say, he looked the part, Austin, is really pushing now Stefan and my boy Horvath.
Yeah, and I kind of said this to you again off camera. He just gives me that classic U.S. goalkeeper feel, a keeper that is going to make good saves for you, big saves. Another keeper that may not be the best with the ball at his feet, but is someone that's reliable enough to get the ball upfield to our attackers and really just kind of push play from time to time, and someone who's commanding at the back, someone who isn't afraid. You saw that one play or one clip, I guess, on the broadcast where he was kind of joking around with the Mexican player after a nice little save there. And I don't know. I like that enthusiasm from him. Zach Steffen brings something similar, but this is the type of enthusiasm I guess I haven't really seen from him. Not to say that he doesn't have his own special type of enthusiasm, but no, I just really enjoyed it, and I think it's gonna be a good battle, Pat. I really think we've got a goalkeeper race shaping up, kind of a 3-headed race. So who would you say should win that race, Pat, if you had to say?
I mean, still, I'll be honest, I still have Steph in there, but I think Matt Turner's ahead of Horvath, my boy number. And it's hard to say for me, but I just think, I mean, what he did for this entire tournament here, and still fairly at a great age, right, for a goalkeeper. I think he's 27. But definitely has some strong years, and I'd be curious to see, Austin. Will he maybe move? I don't know if Bruce will let him, but I would love to see him really test himself and go abroad. I think again the sky's really the limit for him, and he has so many more years, goalkeeper years to go, and could really be challenging Stefan. Because honestly, if Stefan's going to sit at City and whatever that scenario is, we need our keeper starting in and out.
Yeah, yeah, and I think there is something to be said about being fresh. And you really didn't see many mistakes from Matt Turner. I know you saw that one last night where we had a little bit of a heavy touch, but Zach Steffen and Ethan Horvath, to be completely fair, have been open to little mistakes here at times. So I think if Matt Turner can kind of establish that consistency, with that regular playing time, I think that'll help him. I really think he could put in, a real good challenge to Zach Steffen. And hey, if Ethan Horvath can kind of get some regular playing time there at Nottingham Forest, it could be quite the quite the next few years.
The depth is real.
Yeah, and I was gonna say another, not to take us too off track, but another disappointing point we found out today is that David Ochoa is actually looking to make that switch to Mexico, which is really, really disappointing because he's a really good up and coming keeper in his own right. So it kind of stinks hearing that, but yeah, I guess we have three very quality keepers in our minds, and I guess it'll be a good battle to watch. So
yeah, we can't win them all. It's his respect his decision there. Definitely wish he was staying with the USMNT, but it is. I mean, Turner, Horvath, everyone else coming up the pipeline, Stefan, definitely tough. Maybe he didn't see the few year outlook, where he could push to that number one. But we'll see as his career goes on, Austin. But do you want to take us away to number 3?
Yeah, so number 3, and again, I don't think no surprise to anyone, but it's really just Miles Turner being a rock at the back. So,
it's a hybrid.
yeah, Miles Robinson. So, I think coming into this tournament, we were all excited to see him. I know I was really excited to see him at the Olympics this summer, which, it didn't happen. So, it was definitely a great consolation prize to see him in this Gold Cup. And he just was very good in all the games. And obviously last night he played his best game and played, the most crucial part in the game. And I think his defending was really good as well. We all know he's a very good one-on-one defender from his time in MLS. And, he's got such a big frame. And as you saw last night, he can get up in the air as well and finish on set pieces. So he really just has a lot of qualities that I think can challenge for one of our starting center back positions. Now, I know we talked a little bit as well, and we've talked a lot about this center back position, to be fair, in some of our previous episodes. So I'm curious, Pat, with his performance this tournament, James Sands, I thought, played, pretty well at times. He had his moments where he had some mistakes, looked a little nervy, but all in all, he played pretty calm and had some good passes and good defensive play. I guess after this tournament, where do you think Miles Robinson stacks up on that center back depth chart we've heard so much about?
So you can make a strong case. I mean, young guy, he's only 24, Austin, which is amazing, by the way. And what he's had at Atlanta now at the U.S. trajectory is going high, sky high right now. I would say, personally, he's probably a number 3 to me right now. But I think you can make a strong case for him starting alongside Brooks, possibly, on the opposite side, or even, again, as a 3, maybe replacing one or the other there. But yeah, I mean, you have McKenzie, Richards, Miazga. You definitely have a lot of other guys pushing, but I think Robinson's right there. I mean, it's so close, Austin. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, and it's really interesting too, because we know John Brooks is, a player that likes to play very aggressive, get up the field, put in a foot, and kind of, not wait and let the game come to him. He's someone who's very, very aggressive. And Miles Robinson's kind of the opposite, in my opinion. I think he's someone that again is very good in one-on-one situations. So
yeah, he was excellent there.
Yeah, I think it would be really interesting to kind of see that partnership and see, if it could work. Because in theory, and this is how it's, working in my mind, you have John Brooks winning the ball up the field. And if he doesn't do that, then you have, Miles Robinson cleaning up, any attackers getting through. So, Yeah, I think he's definitely in the consideration for a starting spot. And maybe I'm looking at this now through the lens of Greg Berhalter. But I think Chris Richards, if he can secure a loan in the Bundesliga again this year, or even play for Bayern, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities. I think he should be, our starting center back next to John Brooks. And I know he doesn't have too much experience with the USMNT yet, but I'm just really, really sold on the type of player he is, the quality of player he is. And then, yeah, kind of like you said, at number 3, I think Miles Robinson should be slotted in there right now. And then, you got a few other center back options after him. Maybe Mark McKenzie, maybe James Sands. If Aaron Long or Walker Zimmerman get healthy again, maybe they're right up there. We also have Matt Miazga, Cameron Carter-Vickers even. Could get a shout too.
Good.
So. Yeah, I think based on all his qualities, and kind of, again, that there's no clear choice at center back, kind of like striker. I think, from the tournament he had, yeah, he should be up there in that, in that first pecking order.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see again, as we go back to the clubs there, the qualifiers ensue, and they're coming up soon.
Yeah,
realize
31 days from today, the day we're filming on Monday. 31 days until our first World Cup qualifier.
It's unbelievable to think about. Again, we just ended these tournaments here in the summer, 2 victories. Now, brief times go back to clubs, preseason, start of the seasons, right? But then, wow, hits us all. But back to Robinson, Austin. I mean, yeah, he's knocking on the door there, and he had quite the tournament. I think you could argue, honestly, for the tournament's best player that he could have been over Herrera, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was quite interesting seeing Ache winning the Golden Ball. He had a good tournament, right? I watched some of the Mexican games. I guess he had a good game last night to some extent. But yeah, it was weird. Yeah, weird choice. Honestly, you could have given it to Matt Turner. Matt Turner was great too all tournament. So. I think that was weird, but yeah, I guess should we move on to our next takeaway, Pat? What would that be?
That's right. And we're going over to somebody that is just one.
Clint Dempsey, one would say.
Yeah, I know, right? We're talking about off camera. I don't know if I like that. Talking about Matthew Hoppe there. I mean, I guess you could kind of see the grit, right? He was barking back at some of the other players there, just up for any challenge, and somebody that you just gravitate towards on the field. His energy, his hustle, his work rate, his technical skills, but just everything kind of combined in a young player. He was hungry for that final, Austin, and it seemed like the motor never ran out. I thought he was going to be subbed off, but I'm kind of glad he stayed in there because he was dangerous. He had a few moments where he lost the ball, but a few, daring, right? He was the one taking 1v1 players 1v1. He crossed in some beautiful passes there. Yep. Great vision. I mean, he was offering a lot, Austin.
Yeah, I will only call him the new Clint Dempsey if he comes out with his own rap song and music video. No. But let's be serious. I think, I think Matt Hoppe really showed us, what type of not even on the field, but what type of off the field player he is, right? Like someone who has that grit, has that mental toughness. Has all the makings of a strong professional, off the field. I really think he's got everything on the field as well. But I was really, I didn't know too much about him as the person, right? As the person, Matt Hoppe. And from this tournament, we really got to see kind of, who he is and what makes him tick and what type of player he's going to be on the field for us in high pressure situations. And I love that.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but did you see his face? When the camera panned to him, he's like laughing. You could just tell he loved being out there, and he had like this like evil type of grin. It was awesome. It was so funny.
Yeah, Wadkey on Twitter actually put up a funny video kind of describing all the nuances of his,
really? That's so funny.
Yeah, of his I don't know what you'd call it, his good charm and his biting appeal to the Mexican the Mexican team. So that was funny. Go check that out. And I don't know. I think he played great in this tournament. Like you said, Pat, a little inexperienced, so he had some, learning moments, but he was really the most creative player for us. And I know, he only scored I think one goal and had one or two assists. But he was really kind of the engine of this team in attack, and really just kind of sparked us on, create a lot of chances, got into some dangerous spaces, and I just think really improved his stock with this tournament. I really think going into World Cup qualifying, he's a very capable winger option, and obviously as a striker too from our last video. So
yeah, I couldn't agree more, Austin. I was going to quickly add too. Even you brought it off camera, which is great. Getting back his work rate. To help out the outside backs there in the counters, and any kind of build up too when Turner tried to play out of the back, or some instances even that game. I think there was an awesome combination in the first half between him. I forget the other two players, but it was like a triangle. It was boom, boom, boom. Like, it was perfect execution to break out the Mexican pressure, and he was part of that. And then even again, the final third, like you said, he was that creator, that driver, part of a lot of those key moments. So he offered everything on the starting part of the pitch, right, with the back all the way to the forwards. I'm at a loss of words for how much I appreciate all of his work.
Yeah, I agree. And it was a lot of fun watching him this tournament. And I hope to see more of him, honestly. I think, he's due back to Schalke, it sounds like, this coming week. So, he's going to be pretty fit. I think he got his fair share of minutes in this tournament. And it will be interesting to kind of see how preseason goes with Schalke. If Schalke are really interested in keeping him for this year, or kind of cashing in on his stock being so high right now. I think there's, a good amount of teams who probably watched these games and saw, what the type of player he is and what he offers. And I wouldn't be shocked if he went somewhere this summer too. So we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that, Pat, for everyone here in the fan base.
Yeah, that's right. Time will tell, Austin. It's exciting just to see where he can go. To be a part of that team. And again, you can see the influence from Pulisic and some of those other guys, right? Just being around that European environment, and his mentality is second to none. So, so excited for the future with him.
Yeah, so that brings us to our final takeaway for today. And we're going to have a little fun with this one. So, our fifth takeaway is that we are the kings of CONCACAF. Woo! So, hey, back-to-back finals in one summer. I think this was the first time we beat Mexico back-to-back since 2007. So this was a long time coming. And it just feels good, Pat, right? Like, there's now some energy in the fan base. There's some confidence again, which we haven't had that since 2016, 2015, when we had those great friendly performances over in Europe. I feel like that's the last time I actually had full confidence in a USMNT team. And this summer's really brought back a lot of those same feelings, which is awesome. And I just can't wait to watch us in World Cup qualifying in games that, really matter in a different way. Obviously, these games matter a lot. We won two trophies this summer, two tournaments, which is, unheard of and something to celebrate. But getting back to the World Cup is, definitely on our bucket list. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, to echo it even more, you just felt, even during the, that terrible failure to get to the World Cup in the last cycle, just the nerviness against even El Salvador and some of these other teams, right? But they just ooze confidence, Austin. You could see the culture, and credit to Berhalter. I mean, his, all of them huddled together, the team environment with the different groups, right? From your European base to some more of the MLS folks, and just kind of the intermingling there. The confidence radiates throughout the fan base and even the crowd. And you can see, again, during this game specifically, as the tide turned there, and, Mexico was just bombing us, and Turner was making all these saves, and the tide momentum shifted. The U.S. boys dug deep, Austin, and the whole rest of the stadium got very quiet, because I think a lot of folks are realizing that this is for real, and we're the kings of CONCACAF, and going to be for a long time.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's just crazy to see, kind of the fall of Mexico, to be completely honest.
Tell two stories.
They were the kings of CONCACAF for the past few years, and Tata Martino, has really had them playing great kind of before the summer, and maybe even before this year. And yeah, it's just not looking so good anymore, which is very interesting from our perspective. So yeah, I'm excited. I just seeing a full strength USMNT team, in World Cup qualifying, and finally getting those first 3 points, in a World Cup qualifier. I feel like it's just going to be so rewarding. I don't know how else to put it. It's kind of weird because we just won 2 tournaments, but now I feel hungry for even more.
I know, right? You just get a
As
little
a
taste
fan.
of dessert and 2 cookies in the jar. You just want the whole bag.
Yeah, exactly.
No, awesome. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, now, like I said, we're not going nervous. I feel like we could really win, going to Azteca or some of these other environments where previously
Oh
it
my
felt
goodness.
like, a draw was sufficient enough. Let's just win at home. Let's just draw away against some of these teams, right? That is no longer the case.
Yeah, I think that game at Azteca is going to be really action packed. Like if we got pelted, in America with by Mexican fans in the Nations League final, I can only imagine what Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna are going to get pelted with down in Azteca. But I can't wait, Pat. That's all I can really say, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't have anything else. I'm just excited.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited too, and just the depth, Austin. We talked about it for our points here, but these players that proved their worth, they proved how much value they can bring to the system and the team moving forward. And there's so many choices and so much competition, but I think all the players even respect one another, and it's not like I'm so and so's backup, but I also play in Europe. This individual plays in Europe or MLS, right? The guys really just have that group mentality, and they all want to succeed and see each other succeed. So as the level of competition increases, I just going to bring out the best in everybody.
Yeah, that's so true. It's such an underrated point too. Like this team bonded, that Nations League team bonded, and hopefully we can integrate obviously some of both of those teams and make add to, I guess, that family environment and make one big family. So yeah, I guess with that, Pat, for all you watching out there, definitely leave us, what your takeaways from the Gold Cup were in the comments. Message us on Twitter or Instagram. Shoot us what you think was the biggest takeaway from this tournament and what you were excited to see. Honestly, just as a fan, not even someone analyzing these games. What was the exciting part of this tournament? And we'll enjoy reacting and interacting with you guys. So yeah, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our content down below.
Yeah, and like Austin said, don't forget Instagram, Twitter, all that social media content. We have a lot coming out for you guys, especially after these great victories.
And we also have our merch store, which we're gonna, edit that awesome shirt you see Pat wearing.
Yeah, I'll turn around for you guys. We'll turn around. My
back of it.
Way, but there we go.
Yeah, down at the bottom.
Add to that.
Add that Gold Cup conquest. So, yeah, it was truly trophy season, guys. So, make sure to check out that shirt, some other merch we have up there. Link for that store is down below as well. And Pat, we've got so much going on, or we had so much going on this summer. We've got so much going on in preseason. So many players who have either transferred or getting minutes now in preseason for their teams that we haven't even been able to talk about yet. So, we got a lot to discuss and analyze. It's all I guess leading to one thing, right?
That's right, Austin. I mean, we got Nations League secured, CONCACAF Gold Cup final secured. What's that last thing? I want to hear you say it.
That's right. Well, first we got to qualify for the World Cup, and then we have to win it.